Welcome to Lamestorming, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
Hello.
So, this is the first part of a four-part series in which we're going to bring you the classic click pitch from our Two Sweary Dads podcast.
Yeah, so this is our click pitch segment that we started on our previous podcast, which was is a parenting podcast. But you know, this was our dadly pursuit. We sort of fit it in there just because we wanted to have some fun with it. But it's what inspired us to then start this podcast, Lamestorming, and sort of expand on that idea. But this content sort of fits in this podcast, so we thought we'd on the off weeks for these first couple of months of the podcast, we'd make it available here and let you listen in if you're new to Lamestorming, and you can see where it all started.
In fact, in these first two parts, there's not even any mention of click pitch. That came in like the third.
We hadn't named it yet. It was just random game dev ideas, random word game dev, whatever.
In this first part, it's from our second and third episodes of Two Sweary Dads. Please enjoy.
So in our first episode, we were talking about riffing on game dev ideas. And I was thinking during the week, if we had some sort of limitation on what we were actually riffing on. And so I thought, good old Google, type in random word generator. And it's taken me to randomwordgenerator.com.
Of course.
Which is actually kind of awesome. So Ben and I have decided that we're going to each click on noun. Mm-hmm. And we click. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Football.
Clothes.
Football clothes.
Okay. So maybe it's like do you know those what do you call them? Those dress up doll games?
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing like you're sort of a water boy. And
okay.
And or equipment manager, and so each time that there's like the game going on in the background, and you've got to get all the clothes ready for when the next group change over, and so it's like
you have to do mini games to like prepare the clothes and get them ready and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, just have it'll be on a mobile.
Throw all the helmets onto their hooks.
Helmets onto the hooks, or
is it a VR game maybe?
And you got to do it in the right order, because obviously they're going to put things on in the right order. Obviously, it's, you know, they're trying to put their shirt over their football helmet, and because I'm seeing it as American football.
So obviously we need a pretty robust physics engine to make sure that, you know, all the classes reacting properly, and if they put things on in the wrong way, that it looks right.
It's super stretched.
Well, what I started thinking about, and you know, I don't give a shit about sports. I don't know anything about them, but you know those football manager games that you can play, where you're sort of managing all the players and stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's that, but you manage their uniforms, and their uniforms affect the way they play in some manner. So you know you've got random loot that drops. So you know this guy's got a +1 to kicking the ball,
and
getting the goal.
Then you've also got to, you know, you got problems with the clothing distributor, and they haven't been able to print the names on properly, and you know,
and that
-1 to defense, or that
affects the mood of the players, and their morale goes down. And damn, we lost. All right, let's do another one.
Yeah, and click.
All right,
3, 2, 1. Math
description. What
math
did you get?
Description.
Math description?
Or descriptive.
So
math.
it's a
I don't think this one works.
I don't think that one. The only thing I can think of is that it's some sort of educational game. But you can't use, it's a math game, but you can't
it's an English
use
game at the same time. So you
can't use numbers. So you have to describe the numbers. So it's curvy thing that goes straight and then goes across, and then the thing with a straight and an across thing, and then two curvies, double line.
Yeah, but then it'll just turn into bingo and two fat ladies.
Legs 11. Ah, damn! I said a number.
I'm actually picturing now. It's a game of bingo, but you're the announcer and you got to choose, very quick descriptions and.
Oh, that's an interesting little spin on it. Bingo announcer simulator 2016.
Yeah, so
Is state of the art
physics
voice
and
recognition. Yeah, of course.
Because it's turning around and you get your ball and you got to very quickly select the right descriptive term, and the descriptive terms are positioned all over the screen in a different place. And
so then it becomes almost a Twitch-based game. You have to find them and shoot at them or something.
Yeah, you got to find them, hit them, and it's like, oh, legs 11. Oh, you're stuffed up. And
but don't shoot the people playing
two
bingo.
Ducks. 2 ducks 22.
I was thinking you have to make up your own new ones, and there's some sort of
that can be the add-on. You can.
Right, that's the deal. That's the stretch goal for our Kickstarter. Some sort of enhanced voice recognition AI that matches up the description you've given it to the number and makes sure that it has some sort of relationship.
Yeah.
All right, click again.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Tail.
Knowledge.
Tail.
Like tail with an AI.
Tail with an LE.
Oh, knowledge.
So tail of knowledge or something.
Tail of knowledge. Okay.
I'm
so you're a
picturing an
librarian.
adventure game.
Yeah.
Because it's got tail.
It's basically Knowledge Quest.
Yeah.
In the old Sierra parlance.
Yeah, but we can't use quest, so it's knowledge tail.
Right, knowledge tail.
And I don't know, maybe it's a guy escaped from a mental asylum, and he's trying to track down, the information that got him imprisoned in the first place.
See, I think that's too tenuously linked to knowledge. I think it needs to be like it's a librarian. You're playing as Victoria Knowledge, the librarian. I'm not sure what your goal is.
Victoria Knowledge, the librarian, and
maybe it's not.
And she was trapped in a mental asylum, and she's just escaped and now trying to find that.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, that works.
See, that's yes-anding.
And then it's all about. I was saying yes, and your idea is shit.
Yes, and fuck you.
No, I like that. Except you have to go through the library books to find your information, and follow the clues like check the stamps at the back of the book and see who last checked this book out.
And then occasionally you come across something. Oh, these motherfuckers didn't put it in the right fucking spot. Don't you follow the Dewey Decimal System?
Damn you, Dewey!
So yeah, I think that's actually got some legs. Let's take that a little bit further.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
And given the library, it would have an online section, so the you'd be able to sort of take your knowledge that you've been picking up from the books and maybe research it on the computer system, and you get a little bit further down into the story.
Yeah, I can see that. So we're thinking basically a point-and-click adventure game, clicking around with sort of little, almost mini games of, having to search online, digging through the card catalog, finding the correct book in a shelf of books,
finding that it's not in the right place because some bastards borrowed it. And,
that's it. And then you have to track them down at their place, and that's where the shooting minigame begins.
Shooting is in heroin, or
no.
No.
This is where you kicks the door down and pulls out a pistol and says,
Oh.
"You're overdue, motherfucker.
How about
Support your local library."
She has like an overdue stamp that she gets to stamp on their head.
Yes. It's like the melee attack.
Overdue, bitch.
Yeah, it turns into Duke Nukem style, very catchphrase heavy first-person shooter.
with random lengthy library sessions in which like
that's really
she's
the meat of
constantly
the game.
telling people to go shh.
You've got a shh button.
You got to keep a noise down to a minimum level, otherwise you get or below a maximum level, otherwise you get fired and you can't actually continue doing your job. So even when you're not there, you get a little noise meter on the side.
So we're bringing in like thief mechanics now as well.
Except when you're not there, it's really hard. So you can only be away from the library for too long before they all start getting rowdy again.
Oh, I see. Oh, so there's a sort of a management aspect as well. You're really spinning a lot of plates in this game. So you have to you've got a little like baby monitor or something, so you know how loud the library's getting.
Why not?
So you're off shooting some guy in the face and smacking him with an overdue stamp because you need to get the book that he has so that you can go back, look it up, find out that
it wasn't actually
something on the internet, and all the while shushing everybody in the library
and trying to cover up
sure you don't get
your own
fired.
tracks from the murders that you're committing.
Right, of course, because as we said, she was released from a mental asylum. She actually has some issues.
Yes, and it turns out that she actually did do the thing because she's been wantonly killing all these people.
Victoria knowledge. She's got issues of every magazine that the library carries.
And the twist at the end is it's not actually a female. Dun, dun, dun.
she just tears off her wig, and it's yet another broody white male protagonist of a video game.
I'm just picturing that throughout the game, like her 5 o'clock shadow's just getting deeper and deeper.
What the?
Until the very end, and it's just this
Not
full-on
enough
beard.
games. Not enough games have beard mechanics.
It's just a full-on beard.
Yeah.
And people are going, "What the fuck is that on your face?" She go, "My makeup's a little thick today."
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna make millions.
Completely.
If adventure games weren't dead. Alright, should we try another?
Yeah. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Decision.
Application. Decision application. Okay, so I'm pitching this as a Papers, Please-esque, paper management simulator where you have people applying for something, driver's licenses. Maybe you work at like the Vic Roads or the DMV for any US listeners. And you get bonus points for going as slow as possible or for messing up forms. So it's like the opposite of Papers, Please. You have to check their license or all their identification forms, and then you have to put their name incorrectly on their license. And the more times someone has to come back and spend time in line,
the more points
you get.
and if you can get it down so that in the end you've literally only served one customer over 5 days, you win.
Oh yeah, that's like the master level achievement. Yeah, you get combos for sending them to multiple different departments. The more departments you can shift someone around to, the higher your multiplier.
The more forms.
Yeah, the longer they spend in line, the better. If their pen runs out of ink, then you get a bonus. They've filled out so many forms.
Then they've got to stand in a line and ask for a pen, only to be told that they're at the wrong desk.
Oh yeah. Oh, pens, no. You need to go over to the pen deployment area.
That's actually
that's in our that's in our other department across town. So go there, get your pen, drive back, but we close in 10 minutes.
And what, you're only open for like 25 minutes a day?
Oh, yeah. Part of it is you have to sift through all the laws to see what the shortest amount of time is you're legally allowed to stay open, and then manage to serve the least amount of people in that time.
I'm just picturing that the decision part of this application. These people have made the decision to fill out these applications. So maybe one of the side stories is that there's a guy that has got so annoyed that he decides to actually fill out an application to become part of the DMV and try and fix
there's like a little
up.
bit of
So he's like the antagonist.
workplace drama there going on, and through your own bureaucratic skills, you have to prevent him from getting the job.
Yeah, and you got to make lots of decisions to stop him from doing it.
I like it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Childhood.
Presents
and childhood. Okay. So, a platformer.
Yep.
Christmas themed.
Oh no, presents as in something is there.
Oh, presents. Childhood and presents. Oh, okay, so it's a ghost game.
Ooh.
Yeah. So do you play as a child, or is it the ghost a child? Maybe you play as a child.
Maybe you play as... Ooh, I know. You play as a childhood's imaginary friend.
Oh, that's really interesting. Well, what sort of game mechanics would you bring into that? Because you'd almost have to make it. It'd have to be some sort of adventure game, right? Like, because there's too much. You'd have to be. You're almost affecting things they're doing by. Because the only interaction you have is with the child.
Dialogue, conversation, trees, or something.
Yeah,
like
maybe
that.
a purely dialogue-driven adventure game. That could be really interesting, actually. A purely dialogue-driven adventure game. So you're an imaginary being. You can't interact with anything in the world. All you can do is talk to your child and try to convince them to do certain things or put ideas into their head.
Yeah, and then
I really like that.
Then you've actually got, maybe they're getting bullied at school, and you see this little scene where they're getting bullied, and you talk them through that. Or you can talk them into beating up the bully, or you can sort of, you as the imaginary friend can take it anywhere really you would like to.
So what's your name? What's your name as an imaginary friend? Bingles?
Too close to Bing Bong.
Oh yeah. Jaffa. Jaffa cakes.
Peron.
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 How do you spell that?
Peron.
Peron.
Yes.
All right, I like it. Peron, the imaginary friend who interacts only through dialogue. That could be really cool. I could see an old school adventure game with just purely dialogue.
I'm just trying to think of the sort of graphics that you'd actually have with that. Would you go low poly, or would you go the full, VR experience where you literally
whenever I think
look
of it,
around and move around, but you can't actually do anything.
You could do that. That'd be interesting. Whenever I think of adventure games, though, I always go 2D. I could see a really nicely animated sort of Curse of Monkey Island-esque, cartoonish adventure game.
Yep.
Just a really
I can even see,
nicely animated.
A Sierra styled, 2.5D or whatever they call it. The faux 3D, like a King's Quest 5, King's Quest 6 level, where it's still low res, but it's still but it's all hand painted backgrounds and
yeah. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Throat.
Highway.
Throat.
Throat highway. So this is a triple X rated game.
I like how you took it straight to blowjob highway.
So what you have to? It's a hitchhiking simulator.
Well, it's basically that scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
And we've so got to pay the estate of George Carlin, to get his likeness to explain the rules of the road.
Oh yeah, the rules of the road. Yep. And we got to somehow make a 3D model of that face he makes as he opens his mouth and lowers it down. It's like a hot coffee-esque rhythm-based game. Then the longer you keep them happy, the further you're along the road.
Seeing what was that game that came out last year that had the weird fighting mini games? Undertale.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying
Undertale
sort of dodging mini games that the longer that you dodge, the longer the blowjob goes for, and the further down the road that you get.
But do you have to you have to make sure that you keep them at the right level of arousal, because otherwise they'll just get bored and kick you out.
Yeah, or they'll come too fast.
It's a balancing act. That's it. That's all right. It's a balancing act. You don't want to come too fast because you won't be able to get to your destination. So it's also kind of a desert bus situation.
There's going to be Throat Highway for what is it? Desert Bus for Hope. So Throat Highway for Hope.
Throat Highway for Hope. Raising money for
throat cancer
for children.
Oh shit!
Oh right. On that note,
that was great.
Especially Throat Highway.
I'm actually a big fan of Victoria Knowledge. That's a character that will endure, I think.
Definitely her and her 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes, I prefer her stamp that she uses for knocking people out
and killing them.
Late stamp. Hopefully you enjoyed this classic click pitch, and next week we'll have an all new Lame Storming with some all new segments that we're going to try out. If you want to find us online, send us any comments, critiques if you like, things you'd like us to talk about, ideas for segments. You can find us on Twitter at lamestorming, all one word.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lamestorming. And feel free to leave us a review or comments there too.
That's right. You could email us, podcast@lamestorming.com, if you're, still living in the internet of 20 years ago where email was the only way to communicate.
Yes. If you're Apple bound, you can certainly go to iTunes and rate, review, subscribe there.
You can also generally find us in your favorite podcast listening app as well, since most of those pull from the iTunes database anyway. We'd like to thank Kuradust for the opening and closing music. We're members of that band, so thanks us.
Yes, I think it was really awesome that we only charged us a nominal fee.
It's beer money.
Yeah. So you can catch us on our other podcast, Two Sweary Dads, of which this Click Pitch Classic originated. I think it's episode 23 this week. I'm pretty sure it was awesome and funny and all about parenting.
Yeah, probably. Since we're about to record it. We'll see.
Okay, so now that we've done our housekeeping and we've listened to all those awesome games, shall we start development?
Nah, can't be fucked.